Thanksgiving, you're our feast. Human flesh fills the mouths of the Mahomes family. Bob, the most sinister man to ever have taken a breath on earth, just executed a family of 3 just over 8 hours ago. His wife Susan, along with the help of her favorite child Eric, skinned the entire family and cooked up their skin for hours, and now they're enjoying them with a side of mashed potatoes and corn. Delicious, Mom, spoke Erica, the daughter Susan has always regretted having, given the fact that she knows her daughter is completely identical to her, or at least how she used to be. Her daughter just may be more rootless than she can ever imagine, which concerns her given the way she was when she was around her daughter's age. Susan brought plenty of drama and heartaches to her family way back when, which almost led to her parents being murdered by the man she loved very much just before she met Bob. It was then her murderous ways were exposed. The cannibal within her unleashed the fatal night she killed her high school sweetheart for attempting to murder her and her family. Susan brought heartaches, stress, and drama to her parents every so often, and her daughter Erica is so much worse than she ever was. Dozens of teens, teachers, cops, and even politicians no longer exist due to Erica's actions. She's a troublemaker who's pure evil that follows her every direction she goes, and one day, Susan is fearful it'll lead to all of their demises. She didn't respond to her daughter's words. Instead, she shrugged her shoulders, almost not even acknowledging her daughter's words. Erica senses the tension between her and her mother. She has no clue why, no matter what she does, her mother just refuses to get closer to her. "The food is good, my child," Bob shouted to the very top of his lungs. "You know Thanksgiving's coming up, and I don't expect anything less than a buffet of people to eat." They all chuckled, even though Bob's being brutally honest. Eric continued eating, not speaking a word. Mentally, he's just not all there, which is why he's never a part of any of their conversations. That bothers Bob the utmost. He wants his son taking action similar to how his very own daughter takes action. However, his wife keeps babying him. Bob examined his son, who failed to use his spoon to eat. Instead, he used his hands. "It's good, isn't it?" Bob asked, causing his son to agree. "Eric, you're growing older, boy, and it's about time for you to become a man." Erica blurted out aloud, "Are you going to get him a stripper?" She laughed. Bob smirked. However, Susan wasn't amused by her daughter's words. A slick comment such as that one that's caused a rift in their relationship. "Oh no, you're not getting no stripper for my baby boy," Susan shouted. Bob shook his head. "Honey, of course not. I wouldn't dare subject any self-respecting whore to subject themselves to your baby boy, Eric. Hell, he'll eat her before he were to ever try to screw her." Erica laughed. "What a crying shame," she chimed in. Susan shook her head in disgust. "Now you listen up, and you listen good, my baby boy. Eric is not about to mess around with no tramp," she exclaimed. Bob agreed. "Honey dearest, rest assured, I would never force no poor innocent girl to deal with our baby boy," Bob clarified. "But the time has come for him to man up. Erica and I have done enough for this family over the years, and now it's time for Eric to man up. This Thanksgiving, our chef of a monstrous boy becomes an evil murdering psychopath." Susan rolled her eyes, but before she could dare speak a word, Bob continued. "No boy of mine is going to be a punk his whole life," he made known. "So Eric, this Thanksgiving is your time to shine." Erica applauded her father as she usually does, while being overwhelmed with glee. Eric, I have just the right two people for you to start with. Erica chimed in. Dad, I invited over a couple of my friends from school. I invited them over for Thanksgiving Eve, is what I told them. But really, I invited them over to be our Thanksgiving Day feast. Bob snickered. Sweet daughter of mine, you are by far my favorite, he stated. Time traveled by, and in no time, James and Jasmine arrived over to the Mahomes home with weed and plenty of alcohol. Erica greeted them and invited them into her home as her parents sat in the living room watching television. Eric was nowhere to be found as Erica bypassed her parents and made her way upstairs to her bedroom. Crackling sounds sounded off as Erica, James, and Jasmine reached upstairs as their feet stumped on the wooden floor. There stood a huge figure in the center of the hallway, frightening both James and Jasmine. What the hell is that? James shouted, causing Erica to laugh loudly. That's just my big, stupid, dumb brother, she insisted, while walking right past him to make her way into her bedroom. Eric didn't budge an inch. He didn't flinch. Instead, he just stood there in the center of the hallway, gazing at Jasmine, which made her uncomfortable. Both James and Jasmine were hesitant to maneuver around Eric as Erica insisted that he was harmless. Come on, guys. Don't pay him any mind, she says. Jasmine followed behind James, who served as her shield, protecting her from the big, gigantic, creepy-looking guy gawking right at her. She shoved James in the back to force him to scurry past Eric. They immediately rushed into Erica's bedroom, where Jasmine slammed the door closed. Creepy. I'm sorry, Erica, but your brother is creepy, says Jasmine right before Erica uncorked a bottle of liquor that was just seated on her dresser. He is, isn't he? She replied before swallowing a mouthful of liquor straight from out of the bottle that she then handed over to Jasmine. Jasmine, not known to be a heavy drinker, could feel the peer pressure coming from Erica, who began hyping her up, causing her to nearly swallow the remaining bottle of liquor whole. Jane's eyes widened as he began having devious thoughts, as just how wild and crazy this night will eventually become. Little before you knew it, 8 bottles of liquor were empty and James could barely stand upright. As Erica observed both James and Jasmine, barely any liquor has even touched Erica's tongue, let alone ran down into her system. Therefore, she is far from drunk. I can't say the same for Jasmine, who's struggling to hold herself together as she's checking bottle after bottle for more alcohol. Where's your bathroom? Asked Jasmine, struggling to stay upright. Erica glared at her sinisterly, while thinking unimaginable thoughts. It's down the hall, 3 doors to the left, she replied while chuckling. Jasmine couldn't understand what was so funny, but that didn't stop her from exiting from out of the bedroom to make her way to the restroom. She remembered exactly what Erica told her. It's 3 doors down to the left, and that's exactly where Jasmine ended up. She knocked on the door before she gingerly opened it up. It was there she spotted Erica's giant brother sitting on the edge of his bed, staring right at her, as if he were waiting for her this entire time. Jasmine's eyes widened as her heart raced. She tried to back away. However, there just behind her stood Erica, signaling to her brother. What are you waiting for? Attack her, you big doofus, she shouted. Eric wasted no time rushing over to Jasmine with a butcher knife in hand. He injected the knife into Jasmine's stomach several dozen times in a matter of seconds. Jasmine's dead corpse fell down to the floor as Erica ordered her brother to her room to get rid of the other person. In Erica's room, lying on his back, staring at the ceiling, was James, who began hearing thunderous thuds making its way towards the room which he currently resides. The door swung open, and there stood Erica's beastly-looking brother with a bloody butcher knife in hand. Erica chuckled as she stood behind her brother. "Finish him," she insisted, urging her brother to annihilate James, who bawled out for mercy. "No, no, no," he shouted as Eric slaughtered him into pieces with his now new favorite toy, a huge sword-sized butcher knife. "Parents, dinner is served," shouted Erica loudly as she laughed nonstop. Black Friday Massacre. It all started at 6 p.m. when my douchebag of a friend, Philip, decided that he wanted the new PS5, and it by far was terrible timing. See, Black Friday was only hours away from beginning, and I was in no mood to deal with any chaotic lines, or more importantly, any chaotic people. The game's been out for at least 2 weeks now, and I had already purchased my system, but silly Philip decided not to get one for himself, even though he's just as much of a gamer as I am. Fast forward till today, I'm deep in the dark PS5 gaming society, where all gamers make over $5,000 a week, beta testing PS5 video games. Philip wants in on that action, and with less than 5 slots left for gamers to enter into the beta tester society, Philip knows he doesn't have much time to join. "Chris, bro, let's go," says Philip, urging me to join him and going to get his new PS5. I shook my head as I stood up from my gaming seat. "Philip, the system's been sold out damn near everywhere for nearly a week," I said. "Honestly, I just don't care to go anywhere at this time. I'm on level 9 of the warfare, and I'm nearing the end of the video game. I've been glued to my chair for hours, eating chips, pizza, and drinking a 2-liter soda." Philip watched me with urgency. "Come on, bro. I can use that money," he said. I huffed. I'm agitated, but I know Philip needs the money. Plus, I know if he doesn't get the system tonight, he'll miss out on the gaming opportunity of a lifetime. We headed out and made our way to store after store after store. Absolutely no luck headed in Philip's direction, as each and every store was sold out of the new PS5. "Bro, I don't even know if we're going to," I spoke, but Philip cut me off. He pounded his dashboard with a closed fist. "Don't say that, man. Please, I need that system now," he said. He pulled out his phone from his pocket to check the gamer website. "Damn, only 4 slots left. I have to get that damn PS5, he shouted. I'd already given up hope. I just want to get back home and finish up the game warfare before I go to sleep. Philip, on the other hand, looks like he's just getting started, as he's driving like a madman. Within the next hour, we must have visited 7 stores where they all told us that they were sold out of PS5s. Midnight has approached, and Black Friday has officially begun. I'm beginning to become homesick. I just want to go home as we're getting further and further away from our home, as we're going to electronic stores further and further away from where we live. Then, finally, we made it to a well-known electronics store, some 2 hours away from our home, as we spotted several customers exiting from the store with PS5s in their carts. Philip became relieved. I could sense it in his demeanor. He exited from his vehicle and scurried into the store as I followed behind him. I didn't bother to try to keep up. Instead, I just walked gingerly into the store as Philip was already in the video game section of the store near the back end of it. I spotted him searching every shelf of the gaming section from top to bottom. The look of relief vanished from his face as panic completely took over it. My mind scrambling as anger is taking over me as I'm realizing that this already frustrating night is just beginning. The time is nearing 1 a.m. and I'm just losing my sanity as I watch Philip engulf in frustration. He began marching over in my direction, hands empty, rage spilling all over his face. Just looking at him is pissing me off. He stood before me with nothing but anger filling him. I can't believe this shit, bro. I can't believe there's no more damn PS5s left, he spoke. Let's go. Let's just get the hell out of here. Finally, this nightmare of a Black Friday is over, and we can head back. Philip should have listened to me when I had urged him to get the PS5 when I got mine. We would have avoided this situation, and he would have been a beta tester already. Instead, he's going to miss out on this golden opportunity, and he only has himself to blame for it. He marched before me, back to his vehicle, where we spotted these stoner-looking dudes gazing over at us. Tattoos filled their faces as their eyes were bloody red. The look of suspicion was all over them. They're definitely not my kind of people, and the evil gaze I'm giving them notifies them in a hurry I want nothing to do with them. Yo, dude, I have a few PS5s. One of them spoke out loud, catching Philip's attention. Philip stopped in his tracks as he became filled with glee. Seriously? Listen, I'm not in the mood for any funny jokes, he replied. We're not joking. I have a few extra PS5s over in my van. I'm just trying to make a couple of extra dollars for the holidays. The weird-looking guy continued. It's right over here. He and his friend made their way over to a run-down-looking van, causing me to pause. However, Philip continued following them. They opened up the back door of the van, which wasn't facing us because they were backed into the parking space. Philip, I don't know about this one, I said with great hesitation. However, he didn't listen to my words. He just headed over to the back of the van and I followed him. I just couldn't allow him to go back there by himself. In no time, as we made our way to the back of the van, there we spotted two guns aimed at us by these two chumps. Merry early Christmas and a ho ho ho, bitches, one of them spoke. What the hell, says Philip, shocked and surprised. Now where's that PS5 money, says the evil guy angrily. Now move slowly and give me that money before I do something stupid, he continued. Philip didn't put up a fight. He just quickly handed him his money just before they dug through his pockets and then mine. They removed his wallet, and so did they remove my wallet, and along with my car keys and Philip's car keys as well. I had just cashed my paycheck, so my wallet was fully loaded with money. Philip's frustrated, and so am I. A good deed I did by following him all around has led to this moment. No good deed goes unpunished, and I'm being punished for my good deed currently. I'm sick to my stomach. My rent money is gone now. My money to take care of all my bills have vanished, and I just can't believe it. Y'all won't get away with this, Philip insisted, causing one of the gunmen to step closer to him with their gun aimed at Philip's jaw. Say another word, the guy with the gun spoke. I looked at Philip and shook my head. Keep quiet was what I wanted to say to him. Philip glared at the guy pointing the gun at him. Put that gun down and show me just how much of a man you are, Philip spoke. His words caused the thieves to giggle as they briefly took a look at one another. And before I could realize it, the guy's gun went off 3 times, striking Philip just before I was pistol whipped in the back of the head. I tumbled down to the floor as I then heard the sound of tires screeching off as the gunmen sped off in their van. There was blood everywhere, with pounds of it leaking from right out of me.